This is the Pittsburg State Coaches Show. Sponsored by Freeman Orthopedics and Sports Medicine and Gorilla Country. Here are your hosts, PSU head football coach Brian Wright, Shay Schrader, and KODE Sports Director Max Preston.
Hello and welcome to the Pittsburg State Coaches Show. I'm Shay Schrader, and with me as always is Max Preston and Pitt State head coach Brian Wright. And coach, you guys had a massive home game against Lincoln the week before this, and looks like you guys just figured you needed to go ahead and deal one of those out on the road.
Yeah, guys did a great job coming out of that week and getting ready for a new week. And I thought our week of preparation was really good, and it was going to take great attention to detail on the road, and our guys performed.
Definitely. And so, going into this one, Western nearly 31 points per game. They had a 3-1 home record. Did you know you were going to get a pretty tough team in these guys? Yeah,
we really did. And we always feel like that we're going to get everybody's best shot when we show up, and we expected that out of them. And again, what a great performance, overall by our football team in all three phases.
Absolutely.
I think a lot of it comes down to you guys played aggressively right off the bat. Let's go ahead and roll those first half highlights. Interestingly enough, you guys did win the coin toss and elected to receive the kickoff instead of defer. And that ended up paying off because Dallas Flowers, he got the ball at the 2-yard line and was able to run it back 98 yards for the touchdown. Did you just have a good feeling? Did you visit a sidekick? What was the...
Yeah, I think Caden Roy just got tired of deferring all the time. Caden's been doing really good on that coin flip too. I think he's undefeated so far this year. But, it was a windy afternoon there, and felt like if we won the toss that we would take the ball. That way we could decide which way we wanted to go in the second half.
Yeah, and took us straight to the end zone there. So right direction in the first half as well. Right off the bat, after that amazing kickoff return, you had Caden Roy, speaking to him, making life hard for the Griffins. Defense able to hold them to 0 points in the first quarter alone.
Yeah, great job by them. A great start to the game, and they're creating a lot of momentum for us here by how our defense is playing, and certainly setting the tone at the beginning of these games, stopping the run.
Not overseeing the defense, being the offensive coordinator, what do you see from the defense that you really like? What are you thinking on the sidelines when you see them executing?
Well, I just like how hard our guys are playing, how they're playing together, how they're executing the defensive calls. Our guys play pretty multiple on the defensive front, and that can cause some problems for you offensively when you're changing up the fronts.
Well, that was really it for the first half of the game. No one was able to put anything on the board, but in the second quarter, Tyler Adkins really helps put the team in scoring position. He has 2 back-to-back rushes, and then he gets it into the end zone on the third time.
Yeah, good job by our guys up front, and I felt like after those first couple of drives, we really started to settle in up front and establish the run game like we felt was a key to this game, and we did that there on that drive.
Next drive, Tucker Horak, he had some nice runs to get things going here, but then you guys got hit with a holding penalty and had to move it back 10 yards. And at that point, it seemed like Western's defense maybe woke up a little bit. You have Cross Holmes attempt the 50-yarder on 4th and 6. Why'd you decide to go for the field goal instead of the conversion?
Well, we deal a lot in analytics, and the analytics help us, decide which 4th down scenarios to go for and how many yards are needed to gain, in order to go for it or try a field goal. And that one there said to go ahead and kick the field goal. I think if we'd have been a little bit closer on 4th down, we would have went ahead and went for it.
Well, you guys were able to get some more points on the board before the end of the half. We just saw Jalen Martin taking it in the back of the end zone. That was a beautiful touchdown catch by him right there. So you guys went into halftime with a 24-0 lead, holding Western to nothing. That had to have been a pretty good feeling.
Yeah, that felt good, and I think that drive and a couple others were really key moments in this game. Our defense stopping them like they did there in the first half. Us getting the ball back with a minute to go, executing a 2-minute drive and getting down there and scoring a touchdown and going into the halftime with good momentum.
The coin toss thing reminds me of middle school when they'd send me out every week, and I think I was undefeated on the coin toss, which was awesome. But, forget that, Coach. I've seen your defense every week. I think they're really just improving, getting better each and every week. To see that goose egg at the end of the first half, just how does that speak to that, your defense getting better?
Yeah, I think they are each week, and that's what you ask of your football team, is to continue to identify the weaknesses and get better at those things and continue to get better. And we've made a point with our football team that we need to continue to play our best football at this time of year.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. You guys had all the momentum rolling to a hot start there. That's obvious. But of course, the key is always to keep that momentum going after halftime. Coming up, we'll have an entire other half of highlights coming your way. Stay with us.
Normally, beginning of the games, we always defer, so we always kick off. So coach really felt like we should just take it from the jump. And he said we need a house call at the beginning of the game to get us rolling. So they kicked me the ball. I got the opportunity, and I had great blockers, and I just ran off them, and it was great. It was a good return, good setup.
I really love me some Dallas Flowers. He's a great guy.
Yeah.
Awesome to see him talking after the game.
Absolutely. We talked a little bit about that coin toss when we were talking about the first half there, but he said that he had a really good setup. Obviously, it wasn't just him. How impressed were you with the team's blocking up front and the ability to kind of open things up to let him break open?
Yeah, really impressed, and we've watched our kickoff return team all year, and it seems like we're one block away each time. So I knew we were close, and it was bound to happen at some point in time. And we felt good about it. We felt good that they were going to actually kick the ball to Dallas, which some other teams have chosen not to do. But we felt like they were, and they did. And our guys did a great job of executing.
I don't know if anyone's ever going to kick the ball to him ever again after that. Might be wary moving forward.
So, Coach, before the second half, I know they're a 4-possession lead, 24-0. Defense is playing good, but no lead is ever comfortable at any point in the game. What are you telling your guys coming into the second half?
Well, nothing changes. We still have a job to do. We still need to execute offensively. We want to end the drives in the end zone, and defense to continue with the goose egg. So nothing changes there to continue to do our job. And again, and we've said this on the show before, we got to anticipate the changes that the opponent's going to make too. They have good coaching as well.
Yeah, and they clearly made some adjustments in the locker room at halftime because they were able to get a lot more going here in the second half. Let's go ahead and take a look at those highlights. The Griffins received in the second half. They weren't able to make anything happen, but you guys were in the red zone. Max Sexton, he was able to get it to the 10-yard line, which set up a 4th and 3 from the 10. You opted to go for the field goal again, if you want to walk me through that.
Yeah, we did. Again, we actually had a 4th and 4 or 4th and 5 situation earlier in that drive. Went for it and got it. We threw a pass into the far flat to Tucker Horak and got it there. But in that situation there, you're close enough, and the field goal looks really good there, and so we decided to take the points.
Yeah, absolutely, and you got more points. That's obviously what you want. Ensuing drive, Western is able to finally strike on a 1-yard run despite the defense's best efforts. How do you think that they were able to complete that drive?
Well, I think, again, they had a good balance there of running the football and made a couple plays in the passing game, and they had some good execution on their side.
Now, one of my personal favorite plays of the game, as soon as the fourth quarter starts, Sexton starts targeting Devin Garrison. He's able to find him in the end zone with a beautiful one-handed catch. There is a PI call, but of course you guys declined that. Any thoughts on that reception? I slowed it down here, and you can just see, this guy's really on him, and he caught it with one hand and was able to keep control.
Yeah, he did, and we talked to the offensive guys all week long that they were going to have to catch passes that way. We knew that their secondary grabs guys quite a bit, and we were going to have to fight through that contact, and we can't assume that the PI is going to get called, so let's make the catch anyway. And Devin made a great catch there, and great pass by Mac.
Sports Center top 10 right there. Ensuing drive, Western able to run the ball here to the 8-yard line, getting it into the red zone. A little bit of a scuffle, but it's broken up. Reagan Jones, he was able to run it in for another score on the next play, able to find that perfect gap. What was kind of the message to the defense at this point?
Well, again, here, we do have a comfortable lead, and we don't want to give up a lot of big plays, and we want to make them earn it. And they did. They made a change at quarterback. They put their running quarterback in and hit us on an option play there. And again, those guys started to execute a little bit better on offense.
Now, it seemed like there were a lot of stops, a lot of punting after that. You guys started what would be your longest drive of the game with 8:44 to go. You had the ball for 6 minutes and 32 seconds, but despite the longevity here, you go for the field goal and it is blocked. They got 2 unnecessary roughness penalties. You guys also accrued 1, but they ended up getting the first down because the penalties offset. What was kind of the environment there, and what do you think led to that?
Well, we're still playing hard on both sides of the football here, and I was proud of how our offense drove that football out of there from the 5-yard line, ate up 6.5 minutes of the clock there in the fourth quarter, which was critical. We got to execute the field goal a lot better there. We got to be able to put points on the board and put this team away, and we weren't able to do that.
Well, it ended up working out in the end because Jordan Hendy got his second pick in the end zone, second week in a row. He had to have been a little bit excited about that one coming off the field.
Yeah, I would think so. That's 3 interceptions in 3 straight games for him, and that seems to be the theme for our guys back there. Dallas started the season that way, and now Jordan has the last 3.
Yeah. So that pretty much put a bow on it. You guys kneeled it out, and you got the win, 34-14. So that's an amazing win in any situation, especially on the road. Coming into this game, this last 4-game stretch in particular, you had said that you thought that this was going to be a little bit of a grinder of a schedule. How are you feeling after getting through the first of 4?
Well, feel good. We're exactly where we want to be after 1 of 4. We have a long ways to go to get through this part of the season, and we got to treat them 1 week at a time. But I thought our guys handled, like I said, the week really well and prepared well. Our prep in the hotel the night before and meetings and so forth, I thought the guys were locked in, and our guys really came out and executed well in this game.
Well, definitely a great win for the Gorillas on the road this week for that. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're done with game highlights, but coming up, we are going to chat with a defensive player, fan favorite, Caden Roy. That is after the break. Stay with us.
And this one just about underway. 8-yard approach. High spinning kick. Flowers. Near side hash at the 2. Return at the 10. 15, 20. Little crease. 25, 30. Runs over a teammate. Cuts it against the grain at the 40. Flowers in a foot race at midfield. Angling away at the 40. He's at the 30. The 20. The 10. The 5. Into the end zone. Touchdown. Gorillas. Dallas Flowers, 99 yards on the opening kickoff, and Pitt State wastes no time in drawing first blood.
Welcome back to the Pittsburg State Coaches Show. Joining us now is not Coach Wright. A little bit of a different look going on here. It's going to be defensive lineman Caden Roy. And Caden, I have to ask, when we played that post-game sound of Dallas Flowers earlier in the show, I could see you kind of laughing in the corner. What was that about?
It's just totally Dallas, just the way he answered the question. I mean, it's just getting to know Dallas over the last few months. It's just his personality, his charisma, like it just makes you laugh. Just the way he answers questions so truthfully and honestly, it just kind of made me laugh.
So did that make the return that much better, knowing his personality?
Definitely. And he's a guy that works really hard just every single day, so you like to see a guy that deserves it like that, make a game-opening play that big.
Absolutely. How close are you guys as a team? I've been asking this. I asked this during the week in the press conference, but you guys are just so close, playing some great football. How close is this team together?
Yeah, very close. It's definitely one of my favorite teams I've ever been on, and I think one of the things that helped us come closer together was the COVID year, honestly. Yeah. Everybody was going through it, but I think just that time that we had just for ourselves was huge, and I think just then we've just been building on it every single day and every week, and just it's become a pretty close bond with us.
Because you've been on the team for like 20 years now,
yeah,
right?
It's been 19 years.
So would this rank in one of your favorite teams?
Oh, definitely, yeah, for sure. It's we got a lot of guys that are very athletic, can make a lot of plays, and are equally as fun being around the hotel and in the locker room with them as well. So.
Well, you're a lot of fun to watch, so let's go ahead and roll some of those highlights here. It's pretty much just you clobbering people left and right, but the people want to see it. I have to ask, what happened on the bridge of your nose? Got a little cut up there?
Yeah, I think that was definitely from one of the tackles. My helmet got pushed down and just busted over the top of my nose. I didn't realize it until I got back to the sideline. But just one of those things you get in football.
Well, it's intimidating. You know, you can always use it as an intimidation tactic and the like. How are you feeling about where you guys are at this season? You know, you're in that last 3-game stretch of the regular season. What do you think you guys need to do moving forward to really put a bow on things?
I think just finish. That's one of the biggest things right now we talk about in our football team is just finishing, whether that be the second half or finishing drives offensively and defensively. I think just one of the biggest things right now is closing the deal, getting off the field on third down defensively and getting in the end zone when we get in the red zone as an offense, and then just holding the momentum on our side at the end of games. I think that's going to be really huge going into these next games.
Absolutely. And so, you know, with that cut between your eyes there, I have to ask, you know, just being a defensive lineman, you're constantly in the trenches, you're fighting with the offensive lineman and whoever else comes your way. Would you say you're sore than a lot more positions, you know, week in, week out, waking up a lot more sore?
I think being a D lineman has something to do with that, and also being really old has something to do with that too. The joints don't work as well as they used to, but yeah, you get pretty sore in there. It's basically a fist fight every single play, and we're the type of guys on the defensive line that welcome that. But we're prepared for that and definitely get a little bit more sore down in there closer to the ball.
Being a leader on this team, how easy or hard is it to kind of motivate your fellow teammates, and how do you guys interact with the offense? That's kind of, I know that you guys as a defense are a really cohesive unit. It's so many Southeast Kansas guys, but how do you kind of interact with the other side of the ball?
Well, I think just every day we're competing against each other, and you know, we have, you know, our scuffles in practice and get at it for sure, but at the end of the day, we're all on the same team and we're all brothers. So, and then that I think is what makes it fun is during practice, you know, we go at it and we're competing every single rep, every single day. And then, you know, we get out of practice and we go hang out together, and I think that's the coolest part.
What's a hangout spot?
Ooh, that's a good question. Probably Chatters right now, honestly. Just the wing deal is big, so we like to get any eating deals we can.
So speaking of you know, scuffles just a second ago, you know, last night a little bit of emotion, a little bit of scuffle with the you know, Western team or Western offense. What were you playing with a lot of emotion? What was causing a lot of the emotion?
Well, I think it's just an emotional game, and I play it that way, and I think it's a very physical and aggressive game, and that's the way I was taught to play, and that's the only way I know how to play. So I think when guys are playing to win, then things like that are going to happen, and that's exactly what happened. Guys they were playing to win, and so were we, and things got pretty heated, and things were with the way they went. But I just think things happen like that in football.
Certainly can't argue with that.
For sure, and that was an amazing performance by the defense, especially holding them to 0 points in the first half of the game. That's not an easy thing to do, especially in this conference. So kudos to you guys. You guys have been so much fun to watch this season.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, we've had a lot of fun.
Well, Caden, thank you so much for joining us, mustache and all. I appreciate the fact that you got it all stacked up and ready to go. Next segment, Coach Wright will be rejoining Max and I. We're going to talk final stats for the week, plus a quick look at MIAA standings. Don't go away.
We have a run goal of allowing under 3 yards of carry. I don't know what it was, but with him scrambling, I'm sure we got a little over that. But, you know, just little stuff like that. We got goals coming into every game, and so we're happy with the way it turned out. Definitely not satisfied with what we got to do with the rest of the year, but we're definitely happy with the victory any way we can get it.
Well, in case you didn't have enough of Caden Roy, that was him talking after Saturday's game against Missouri Western, and he said that you wanted them to limit them to under 3 yards of carry. That figure was 4.5, so pretty close. What do you think about that number?
Well, the number that means the most is in the win column, and that's the one we got, and so that's the one I concern myself with the most. However, you know, I think if you go back in that game and you look at the first 3 quarters of the game, I would think that our defense held them well under that. That quarterback got out and ran a little bit there in the fourth quarter, and so that's probably where the number went a little bit above that. But that happens in games, and you know, they're going to give up a few runs when we're up by a few touchdowns too. Just try not to give up big plays.
Also, I think it's their quarterback situation is a little unique. You know, they were kind of rotating in 2 guys. They had kind of the passing guy and the running guy. How difficult is that to figure out and defend?
Well, it can be real difficult. You know, you're game planning for one guy that does a certain thing, and then you have another guy that goes in and does some other things. And just like they did when they brought the second guy in, they started to run a couple more read zones and an option play there at the end for a touchdown. And those were plays you didn't have to defend so much with the other quarterback in.
Definitely. And, going back to talking about getting that win, first of all, MIAA's not easy. No game is given. And you're on the road, too, against, like I said, against a team that had put up almost 31 a game. So how great was it to just get that road win?
Yeah, it's really good. Anytime you can get a road win in this conference, I think is critical. And they had our attention. I think they're a good football team. I think they're well coached. I think they have some great football players on that field. And we knew it was going to take a great effort by us.
So you were able to put up some pretty nice numbers in the stat column. As always, we're going to go ahead and take a look at those. Max Sexton doing Max Sexton things. He was 19 for 29 pass attempts, 229 yards, and 2 touchdowns. No surprises there, right?
Yeah, good game by Max. Certainly, no sacks in the game, so we kept him pretty clean, and that was good. And even on a couple plays where he had to step up in the pocket or get just out of the pocket, I thought he did a great job with his decision-making there in that category as well.
That really showed, and he was able to target a lot of different people getting in on this. Of course, Dallas Flowers had the touchdown return, but we also had Tyler Adkins, Jalen Martin, and Devon Garrison getting in on the offense. So it just shows the versatility of you guys have so many guys that you can depend on.
Yeah, we really do, and we try to spread the ball out and keep defenses off balance. And when you have a group of guys like we do, that helps you to keep good balance on the offensive side. And I think credit to our coaches on all sides of the ball, but on the offensive side here, we made a point to get Tyler in there on some of those short yardage goal line plays, and he gets a touchdown out of that, and then target Jalen and Devin down there in the red zone.
Yeah, totally paid off. On the defensive side, we talked a little bit about Jordan Hendy. He had that interception, 6 tackles, one of which was for a loss. So 3 interceptions for him now, I believe we said. Pretty impressive.
Yeah, it really is, and there's 3 guys at all 3 levels of the defense, with Caden up front and PJ at the linebacker level, and then Jordan in the back end. They're all producing for us. And again, a great job by our defensive staff putting together a great game plan, and then our guys going out and executing it.
Beautiful. Of course, Caden Roy had 10 tackles in the double digits there, and then PJ Starwinski 6 tackles, one of which was for a loss. But let's go ahead and take a look at those MIAA standings very quickly. Number 1, we have Nebraska Kearney. Number 2, Northwest Missouri. And then it is a huge pile up from there. We have a 2-way tie for 3rd place between you guys and Washburn, and then Central Oklahoma, they're in a 4-way tie for 5th place, and you guys have them coming up this Saturday. So we're still at the point that anything could happen in this conference.
It really can, and that's what we've told our football team, to control what we control and continue to get better, and good things can happen.
Yeah, definitely. And Coach, going back to your defense, I talk about them, improving each week, but just seeing the stats, so many guys on that defense can just make plays. You got playmakers on that side. How great is it to see so many guys that can make big plays?
Yeah, it's great to see. I'm glad we don't have to go against them every Saturday. Like I said, we have guys at all 3 levels doing a great job for us, and our staff doing a great job of putting guys in position to make some plays. And it seems like we've got, you got your guys that are doing a steady job every week, Caden and PJ and Dallas and Jordan, but then each week it seems like there's a new guy that steps up. Dubim this week, getting a sack, and some other guys that are stepping up and making plays too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I, for one, am definitely looking forward to this Central Oklahoma game. You guys have 2 home games in a row, so looking forward to being back in the jungle, I'm assuming?
Yeah, we're always excited to be back home and play in front of the home crowd, and looking forward to a great crowd. We're going to need them for this one.
All right. Well, we will be there as always. Thank you all so much for joining us, and Coach, thank you for being here. We will see everybody right back here, same time next week.
This has been the Pittsburg State Coaches Show, sponsored by Freeman Orthopedics and Sports Medicine and Gorilla Country.